All right, Pisces. So this week from Lay Vampire, you pulled that death will come. Mortal, finite, and fragile. And then from Chakra Wisdom, you pulled renewal. Now, the blessing for that death will come says, knowing that we have one lifetime at a time to make changes, learn lessons, and move closer to the true purpose of our soul is a blessing. Knowing that each lifetime must not be wasted and is precious is a gift that compels us to lead lives of meaning. And then working with this card talks about honestly creating meaning in each day and to choose to make the very best of the time that you have. Every day is a gift, make it count. And then when you're looking at renewal, I think for some of you, it's just a reminder that if you're facing what seems to be a major ending, you have to make the most of the new beginnings that happen. Now, the card at a glance says you're being offered a chance to awaken to a new life. You may need to deepen your roots and anchor yourself by taking stock of what you would like to create. This is a time to start again and grow a strong foundation. The inspiration says that what appears to be an end may not be one after all. This may turn into a remarkable opportunity. Trust that whatever is coming is better than what you have known to this point. The personal question says, am I positive in the face of change or defeated? Am I ready to step into the new me? The key ideas are sourcing from a more beneficial place, feeling in the dark, change in circumstances, and unexpected blessings. So I think for some of you, this is just a reminder that if you're facing some major endings, it is not going to be an ending that will not open up to a new beginning, because the renewal is the new beginning, but you have to make the most of it. All right, Pisces, here we go. Here's the energy coming through. The Eight of Cups, so talking about endings. The Eight of Cups is one of those cards where the word abandonment is attached to it, and I don't know why it was important to say that. It's hard to walk away from things that we've spent so much time and effort with, and so much emotion is involved in it too. But again, you know, it is about moving on emotionally before you do physically. It's saying that what you spent so much time with has been emotionally draining for you. It is no longer fulfilling you or your purpose. But the question is, are you moving away from it? And in the past, the Emperor. So, you know, for some of you, again, when I see the Emperor, it could have to do with a person. This could be an Aries, but this could also have to do with you getting control over the chaos that is happening in your life. And now there's an understanding here of needing to move away from the chaos, basically. In the present, the Page of Swords, I mean, you know, a lot of you guys know that for me, this is the messenger of conflict. This is the shit that you don't want to hear. You know, the Page of Swords, though, is also talking about, you know, being active, but being truthful. My problem is when I see the Page of Swords, my question is there truth here? You know, and for some of you, it could definitely represent the new beginning. But, you know, with absolute clarity, just needing to ask questions as well. Because the Page of Swords, when you're looking at it, it also talks about, you know, the inquisitive, like, younger person. But looking at the Emperor over the top of that, you know, this could be like the ending of something that just maybe was too rigid for you, and now there's a change. But like I said, the problem for me with the Page of Swords is, you know, what's being said. Yeah, Pisces. All right, so I think that you guys are done. You're done with communication. You're done with bullshit communication, because again, the Page of Swords for me is one of those things where you're hearing things you don't want to hear. You know, it could be somebody causing conflict with what they're saying to you. What they're saying may not be true. They may be exaggerating the truth, or maybe you're not hearing what you wanted to hear. But when you're looking at the Ten of Swords coming out of this, it's done. It's done with. And I think you're done. You're done, right? The big thing with the Ten of Swords, though, and looking at the Eight of Cups for me, every time I see this, it's like you have to let go of this. You have to let go of those painful endings. It is the ending of pain. And it does open up to mental clarity, which is good. But I think maybe some of you heard something that you didn't want to hear. And it's causing a painful ending. And I think it's something that you put a lot of time into. And it may have to do with a person. And emotionally, you're done with it. You're ready to walk away now. Oh, Pisces. Wow, really? The Tower is your best path to follow, though, is basically saying this shit is false. It's got to go. It is gots to go. It's done with. This shit needs to come crashing down because what you have built on was false. It's false, and you know it, and you're walking away from it now. The big thing with the Tower, though, you know, you do get to rebuild something better. The foundation isn't stable. It's bullshit. It's not you. It's not serving your purpose, you know. But I do think that for some of you, this is going to be a situation where, looking at the Eight of Cups above this, that when things come crashing down, you shouldn't be left to pick up the pieces. It's time for you to walk away from it. You know, this is coming down for a reason, because it's not worthy of you. But I do think that it's happening because you're hearing things that you didn't want to hear. Ah, very nice. So now, seeing the Ace of Wands in your environment, there's kind of two ways to look at it. If this is like false communication and like a false start here with the Ace of Wands, it's something that, you know, was not worthy of you in the first place. The other thing is, when I'm looking at it this way, it may be a situation here where you're needing to walk away from the false before you start the new beginning and you start getting a little bit more control. But it kind of goes both ways for me. It could be a situation here where it's just a false start. You may have, you know, seen an opportunity here to start something with some passion and some excitement, but then, you know, what you heard wasn't what you were wanting, and eventually it ends. It just ends. Man, Pisces, this one's a little bit hard. You know, I'm hoping that even though, you know, in the moment you're dealing with having to hear things that, you know, you're not wanting, that this may be the new beginning here for you. But you're not in it. You're not in it. The Four of Cups. So seeing that in your hopes and your fears, it's one of those things where I think for some of you, you're waiting for a better offer to come along. You may be rejecting offers because it's not right. But emotionally, you're just not in it. It's saying emotional funk, emotional boredom. You're just like, meh. Nothing seems to be good enough. You know, thinking that something better will come along, but not really seeing it. Too focused on what you already have in front of you and not really being open to new offers either. But, you know, looking at it as a hope. It's you going inward and understanding why you're feeling the way that you are. But, you know, I kind of look at it as a good thing with the Eight of Cups, because I think it'll be easier for you to walk away from this Tower and everything crashing down. I'm so sorry, Pisces. I feel like, you know, you may have acted on something that you thought was right for you and it turned out not to be, and you just heard what you didn't want to hear. And I think emotionally you're just done with it, which is better to see than like the Five of Cups. It's over with. It's over with, you know, and you are looking at a new beginning because, you know, again, it is the ending. It's the ending of this cycle in a big way, in a big way. Oh, very nice. Look at that shit. Really? Yes, that's perfect. So justice. Whatever wrongs were done will be amended. And that goes on both sides. If you're dealing with people who, you know, may have been like manipulative toward you, that's going to be corrected, but you're also correcting any wrongs that you may have done as well. But I feel like, this is external to you. I don't think that there's anything that you did wrong. I just think that for some of you, you acted on something that may have been a false start. And things may end in a way that is going to feel really rough for you, but it is important for you to remember that when that tower comes crashing down, you will not be left to pick up the pieces here. You're going to walk away from this and these things will be balanced out. I'm so glad that justice came out on this. And I'm so sorry, Pisces, but again, right? Life is too short to be wasting your time with things that aren't worthy of you in the first place. And, renewal, again, it may feel like a major ending that's happening. But you have to be open to, the new chapter in your life. And that new chapter is going to start with there being justice, which is perfect. It's perfect. All right, we're going to take a look at the soul trees to see what else is going on for you guys. But yeah, it's time to walk away now, because I'm looking at those emotions and I'm like, oh, Pisces, I feel bad. I really do. I really think that you guys heard something you didn't want to hear and things just end. But you're going to be okay. And that is what's going to help ground you in what it is you're truly wanting to create, because what is going on here is not worthy of you. And it is important to honor yourself. But I do like seeing energy because, again, this may have been a false start, but there is a new beginning. And, this definitely could be the new spark of energy that's happening. Even though you're hearing things that you don't want to hear, that situation needs to end. It will be balanced out and there is a new beginning for you. Absolutely. But so important to honor yourself. You may feel like you're abandoning something, and if for some of you, but it is something that you need to do. But then I really do think that for a lot of you, you've put a lot of emotional investment in something that wasn't worthy of you. And you got to walk away from it. Honor yourself. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So for those of you who are single, maybe your career is more important than a relationship right now. Especially if for some of you, you tried to, start something here that just didn't work out. And then on the other hand, too, if these are issues that need to be worked out before you start a new relationship, then, it's time for you to start getting a little bit more grounded here and getting that stuff under control. But I think that for some of you, maybe your focus just shifts to your own financial stability and the progress of your own career rather than a relationship. All right, Pisces couples, there it is. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. So if you are in a relationship and you are happy and these are just things external to the relationship, it is important to express your love to your partner. But Pisces, I feel horrible about this, but then at the same time, I'm glad that justice is there. It's good to see that there will be fairness and balance for you in your life coming out of this. I just think you're going to be looking at a pretty rough ending. And, you're not the only one here. You're not the only one, because Scorpio pulled the same crap here. But I do think that Spirit is telling you, I'm just looking at the two, that you're not going to be left to pick up the pieces. You get to walk away from this and wash your hands of this shit and go to that place where there is that fairness and balance. All right, Pisces, so this one's a little bit difficult, and it makes me feel bad because looking at this as a signifier, I have that overwhelming feeling of I've spent so much emotional time with this, and it just turns out to not be worthy of you. But that can be hard to see, especially when you have put so much emotional investment into something. But I think for some of you, it's a case of hearing something you didn't want to hear. This wasn't what you expected. And for some of you, it could just be a false start. Now, on the other hand, this is also talking about you dealing with these things with grace and intelligence and moving into a new beginning, which is definitely possible. For some of you, it may have to do with a person from the past coming through, or this is you getting control and needing to tap back into that energy when you're looking at new starts in your life. Either way, I think that emotionally you may be having a big problem with this, and that's understandable, but it's important to let it go. It's important to let it go because, again, I do think that whatever is ending here wasn't worthy of you in the first place. You're not going to be left to pick up the pieces here because with justice coming out, absolutely, there's going to be fairness and balance. I do think that you're going to have to get a little bit more grounded when it comes to new energy that's coming through, but you also have to honor yourself and stop putting so much emotional investment into things that are not worthy of you. And, again, you're facing some major endings, but life is too short to be hanging on to that. And there is a new beginning. And, the message is that what is coming now is going to be better than what you have known before. But, this has to come to a close. It has to be over with. It's going to be over with in a big way, I think, for some of you. But again, justice coming out is saying that even, if you've done things wrong or if wrongs were done to you, things are going to be balanced out. There's going to be fairness and balance. Now, for those of you who are single, when you're looking at love, finances, and career, I do think that, if this has to do with a relationship falling through, that your career is going to be what's more important to you right now. For those of you who are just dealing with difficulties within your finances and your career, it's going to be up to you to get control over that before you start getting into new relationships. Now, for those of you who are in a relationship, it is important to express your love to your partner if you're happy. This just may be something external to the relationship. And it could be a need for you to concentrate your energy there rather than focusing on the things that are ending. Because again, whatever is collapsing here was not worthy of you in the first place. And with justice being there, I'm telling you, whatever is coming is going to be better. Things are going to be corrected, and you will see that fairness and balance.